Men are disgusting. Boom. Straight out of the gate, a broken blade. Tell me that isn't the truest thing you've heard all week.
Please. Context is paramount. You can't just pluck a line like that and wave it around like some anarchic banner. It completely misrepresents the nuanced socio-political landscape Melissa Blair is attempting to construct, however clumsily.
Nuanced? Darling, the nuance flew out the window the second our heroine started carving names into her own arm like a goth kid's trapper keeper. This isn't nuance. It's a glorious mess. Welcome back to Heartbook Radio, folks, where today we're dissecting A Broken Blade, the most original fantasy epic I've read since the last one.
Original? Are you deliberately trying to provoke me? This book reads like a throne of glass fan fiction. Someone ran through a thesaurus and dipped in cheap whiskey. Assassin FMC. Broody Fae love interest. Hidden rebellion. It's a checklist. Honestly, it's almost as derivative as your defense of that book.
Oh, here we go. Still sore I thought 50 Shades had more emotional depth than your precious 19th century poetry. Face it, sometimes people just want the tropes. One reviewer literally said, "We're like familiar tropes." See, I'm not alone.
That is precisely the problem. Anyway, let's discuss the protagonist, Keera, the King's Blade, the most feared assassin, who apparently, according to one rather blunt assessment, is also just a clumsy drunk.
Okay, rude, but also kind of accurate. She's the kingdom's top killer, but she needs like 3 bottles of wine just to face Tuesday. And the self-harm thing. Yikes, is she badass or just deeply unwell? I'm diagnosing her with advanced hot mess syndrome, terminal stage. My cousin Brenda was like that after her 3rd divorce. Minus the knives, mostly.
While I wouldn't use such crude terminology, Keira's psychological state is fraught. The constant guilt, the addiction as a coping mechanism, the repetitive focus on hiding her scars, it borders on obsessive, textual perseveration. Is it a raw portrayal of trauma aunts, or simply ticking the damaged heroine box for edgy appeal?
Who cares? It's drama. She hates the genocidal king she works for. She's falling for the hot rebel leader. She's supposed to kill Riven, the shadow dude, and she's probably the secret special chosen one halfling too. It's like Lindsay Lohan in Mean Girls decided to become an elf assassin instead of joining the mathletes.
Please don't bring Ms. Lohan into this. And Riven. Well, one reviewer did question his leadership capabilities, wondering how he'd survived so long being seemingly outmaneuvered by Keera, even in her compromised state. Is he truly a compelling counterpoint, or just brooding wallpaper?
Wallpaper that makes readers scream into a pillow. That French review makes you want to scream into a pillow. That's the good stuff. I bet their sex life, if they ever get to it past all the angst, and Keera needing another drink, is probably incredibly vanilla. All that tension, probably missionary position, lights off.
How must you reduce everything to such crass speculation? We're supposed to be discussing the literary merits, or lack thereof.
Fine. Literary merits. Is this book actually good? People are fighting about it online like it's the last slice of pizza. Some say, brilliant comfort read. Others say, shameless rip-off. What do you think, Professor Snooty Pants?
Well, the prose can be pedestrian. One reviewer meticulously noted the word saunter was used 7 times. 7. That speaks to a certain lack of lexical diversity. and the world, building felt, borrowed. Fae, elves, magic systems, it's all very familiar territory.
Sonder? Gate? Oh my god, that reviewer needs a hobby. Who cares if she sauners? Maybe she likes saunering. And familiar is comforting, like mac and cheese. We got a listener email, fake listener, obviously. Brenda from Boyce saying, finally a fantasy book that isn't afraid to say men are disgusting and includes queer characters without making a big deal. 5 stars.
And juxtapose that with another. Let's call him Chad from Chattanooga, who emailed ranting about the gender fluidness and how it's ticking every political trap and is of woke checklist. It seems to provoke extreme reactions.
Exactly. That's why it's fun. It's messy. Okay, hypothetical if Keera were a sandwich. What kind would she be?
I refuse to engage in such absurdity. The point is, the book attempts to tackle serious themes: addiction, self-harm, complicity in tyranny, but wraps them in so many layers of, worn fantasy tropes that the impact is debatable. Is it profound, or just edgy window dressing?
I think it's like a deep-fried Oreo. It's probably bad for you, definitely derivative, but damn if it isn't satisfying in a greasy, slightly shameful way. Some people found the ending predictable. Others had their jaws on the floor. I personally saw it coming, but I shrieked anyway.
Very well. Time for the ratings, I suppose, though our system remains ludicrous.
Ludicrously awesome. Okay? A broken blade. It made me gasp. It made me roll my eyes. It made me want to drink. I give it 8 out of 10 times I wanted to scream into a pillow.
While I appreciate the visceral honesty of its portrayal of Keera's struggles, the lack of originality is galling. It's competently executed genre fiction, but hardly groundbreaking. I give it 3 out of 7 uses of the word saunter.
You're impossible. Fine. Agree to disagree, like always. Join us next week, listeners, when we tackle a real literary enigma. My goldfish might be a Russian spy.
Oh, for pity's sake.
You've been listening to Heartbook Radio. Don't touch that dial, unless it's to turn us up.